Welcome guys back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about multiple situations, multiple events that's been going on in the last 2 days with Liverpool linked to Red Bull Leipzig winger, a player who haven't showed much of, I would say, experience in the league since moving to Bundesliga, young Diomande, and we're also going to turn into one of the highly prospect winger known at PSG as Bradley Barcola. We're also going to talk about one main topic. The topic that I had to kind of give myself a few days to kind of digest. And let me sit up a bit when I say this. But let's talk about the game on Sunday. Last game of the season. Game to kind of end off a terrible season. Trying to defend the title. And that game just summed it all up. The atmosphere. The vibe, the energy between certain players and managers, it was questionable compared to the previous farewell we've had. You know, we had Mane versus Wolves back in 2021. We had Bobby Firmino versus Aston Villa. We've had so many players who spent a long time at Liverpool had such a beautiful send-off. But it's crazy that our most impactful players out of the lot that I mentioned had probably the worst send-off I've ever seen in my life. Compared to the likes of, I've mentioned, the energy just felt weird. Like it just felt, it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't normally how we do it. I don't know. Am I overreacting here? Like, no, those that watched the game, no, not even the game, those that watched the farewell after the game. Am I wrong in what I'm saying? In terms of like the energy, in terms of like there's the word for it, but like the impact of it. It didn't hit normally as it does hit when you say goodbye to one of your most impactful players. In Andrew Robertson and Mohamed Salah, it didn't feel as beautiful as it was before, you know? And you know what I felt like kind of plant the seed in allowing that atmosphere, in allowing that chemistry to be the way it was after the game? It was the performance. It was the performance within the game. And look, I've made multiple videos about the style of play, multiple videos about the manager. At this point, those who are clicking my videos, it just get repetitive. But I just knew from the 20th minute, I knew what we were going into. You know, we started off well. You could tell that Salah was trying to end up on a high, trying to get that goal. The performance was, I wouldn't say vintage Salah, but I would say that like he was trying to show that he wanted to end on a happy ending. But he didn't. Well, he did, with an assist to Jones, but even that as well. The assist to Jones, and Jones, I don't know if it was his reaction towards the goal, maybe he thought he was offside, or I don't know. We might just be looking into too many things, but my issue is that one of our most impactful players out of the last 9 years, since 2017, Mohamed Salah, 200 plus goals, 100 plus assists. Like, I could name his accolade and we could be here all day. But the fact that compared to the light before that left, his farewell was the worst I've ever seen out of the whole lot. And I don't want to be one of those ones who rate farewell, but he should be getting the best. Maybe next to Klopp, but he should be getting the best after that. After everything he done for us. But he got the worst. And yet, like I said, I don't want to point fingers, but like I'm kind of scratching my head here. I'm thinking to myself, could it be a lot of issues behind the scenes? Could it be the manager after the statement he put out on Twitter, on Instagram, talking about style of play, talking about rock and roll football? Could it be? It could be anything, but it was just. I turned my TV off and I really wanted to be there and watch the game. I really wanted to be there and watch the farewell. I wanted to say goodbye to one of the players who made such a big impact in my life. Who created so many memories, you know. But the farewell just felt stale. Wow. Mohamed Salah and Andrew Robertson, two of the most influential players we've had in the last 20 plus years in their respective positions. And they didn't get the goodbye they deserved. And it's like, wow. And this is why I relate. It says like, is this an end of an era or is this a start of an era? You know? And again, I want to be someone that's very positive. I want to be someone who has a lot of good things to say going forward. But again, days like this, matches like this, news like those that are dropping in terms of backing Arne Slot, it makes it very difficult, you know? And talking about news, we are linked to two of the most highly anticipated wingers in the world, known as Red Bull Leipzig's own young Diomande and PSG winger Bradley Barcola. These two are incredible. You know, they give us something that we've been lacking going forward. The pace, the one-on-one ability, you know, creating something out of nothing. You get, you know, the pace and power, something we lack this season. But it normally, with someone like me as a Liverpool fan, I get that dopamine, especially when you're linked to these quality players. But the question is, compared to the likes of Vert, Hugo, and Issat came in and they performed like this, as long as that man, again, I don't want to be someone who is very negative like this, but how can I be positive about this transfer when we have a manager that plays this type of football, even if he means to or don't mean to? I don't think he'll bring the best out of those two. There's just so much issue to get into, you know. Young Diomande is one of the most highly anticipated wingers in the world. You know, he's 19 years old. He made a move from America to Spain to Bundesliga to Germany, you know, and he's been incredible. You know, most of the games I've watched, he's been incredible. He's still 19, he's still raw. He is very expensive to what we want him for, but again, when you're in this day and age, inflation counts, you know. But, you know, I'm happy for it to be linked, but it's like, yes, you're happy, but then after what we saw this season, is it going to work out well? Because I don't want it to be another Vert when a quality player like Vert came in and because of the style of play, because of the situation going on, it ruined his reputation. Same goes for Bradley Barcola. He is incredible 1v1. He can turn you inside out. He can turn you like a twister. I could go on all day. His end product, we could talk about that all day. Not in a good way. But these two are quality wingers. They can add to our squad, especially with a lot of players that we have already. But are we really going to be positive about these acquisitions if the manager's there? Like, this manager looks like he doesn't know what to do with these type of players. I feel like, it's just, wow. You know, I was there on the news. I was there on Twitter when I saw the link and I said to myself, it's good and all, but there's a deeper issue than just players. And I remember all season on Twitter, on TikTok, people are saying we need pace and power. That's how Arne Slot can get the best out of this team. His out of position tactic is abysmal. No wingers are going to fix that. It starts from the back. It starts from the midfield. There's a lot to talk. There's a lot to solve. And that comes from him because some of these players are the same players that were in Klopp's system and did really well out of possession. But now, they look lost. Coming into the summer at the end of the abysmal season, we got a lot to solve. And I feel like, yes, the wingers are a good situation to look at to try and fix. But also, we need a DM. Again, mentioned that in my previous video, not going to get into that. We need a right back. We need a goalkeeper, especially with Alisson Becker leaving. That game on Sundays tells you everything we needed to know. The differences between Alisson Becker and I'm not going to pronounce his name, but I can't pronounce his name, but our backup goalkeeper is just night and day. And if we were to get back to the top, that is just, there's a lot to look at. I had to give myself 2 days. 2 days to kind of digest everything that's been going on with the Liverpool Football Club. And the more news come out, the more where we link to players, where Slot is staying, the more time where we're coming into the transfer window, World Cup season. I've never been less excited for next season. And this is someone that's coming from someone who witnessed the Roy Hodgson days, witnessed the Brendan Rodgers days, who witnessed, you know, the Rafa Benitez day going at the end of his time at Liverpool. Like, I've been there for a while, you know, I've seen it all, but this one is just, I genuinely thought the board or FFG had balls, but they're really willing to sacrifice another season just to prove themselves right, just to back their ego, believing that this is the man to take us forward. This is a copy and paste from 2015 when Brendan Rodgers was here. But like I said, I'm not going over this again because I mentioned it in my previous video, you know. But guys, when you look at these links, when you look at these players that we're linked to and they're saying yes, they want to come, we should lower the chemical reaction in our body, which is linked to known as dopamine, because as long as that manager's there, there's nothing to be excited about. I'm sorry. There's nothing to be excited about. This is an end of an era, you know. There's a lot. Robertson leaving. Salah, one of the most political players in terms of output, in terms of impact. He was the one who created so much that day against Brentford. Nobody else. Now that he's gone, oh my goodness, I don't know. You know what? It wouldn't even scare me anymore if we would have got rid of Slot. But the fact that we're backing him and going forward with him into the next season, that's what scares me the most. This is what I mentioned before in my previous videos. This is a dark time we're going through, and we gotta hold our head high, because I really hope Slot proves me wrong. I do, but every sign, in terms of how he speaks, in terms of his body language, nothing shows me that he is the one to take us forward. No. That's all I got to take off my chest, guys. If you guys want more content like this, if you guys want more of my opinions, more of my reviews on situations like this concerning Liverpool Football Club, please like, subscribe, and please comment what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the situation. Let me know what you guys think about the link towards the likes of Diomande, towards the likes of Yakumbu Mateus from Brighton, from Barcola, you know, Camara, whatever, you know, let me know what you think. Are these the signings that could allow Slot to elevate, or is there just no way back? Let me know down in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in a bit.